Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue the poem from the perspective of the traveling son. So in the first stanza, it talks about the mom, the character, and the prop holding thread in a hand. And then another character, the traveling son, and the clothing on his body. So the two characters are there. So it's almost like a still frame in a movie, right? Now the action is here. 临行密密缝. So the thread, sewing the thread right before the departure of the traveling son. 意恐迟迟归. So now is the psychological feelings of the mother from the mother's perspective that she's afraid the son is going to return too late. Okay, some historical context in Chinese culture in ancient times. So traveling son mostly is a son, very unlikely to be the daughter. Daughter cannot travel alone without chaperones, right? And the son travel very likely to go to a national exam because the ancient Chinese ruling mechanism is to recruit talents nationwide by having such national exams. It's, I guess, the biggest career choice back then. Before you be a entrepreneur, make some stuff or explore somewhere. No, the number one career choice is to work in a government agency, be part of the ruling class. Okay, so this traveling son could very well be going to such a national exam, or it could do a trade, but um, I'm not a socialist or historian to know which is more likely. Different scenarios here. But the departure is pressing on these two characters. And we have the action of sewing, and we have the psychology of being afraid of the son return late. Very few words, but it gives you the almost a good picture of the dynamic up there, almost like a movie script, right? Of this pre-departure night, and the mother sewing up the clothes, and have this psychological description of this sense of, being apart for a long time. Okay, 临行密密缝. These are some big words. Took me some time to crack down, to unpack. I hope I can make it as simple as possible. 临 came from the imagery of the ruler, looking down on a crowd, and the crowd would bow down, showed submission to the ruler. So this bow down imagery is projected by this eyeball. That's when you're looking down, when your eyes are looking down. So this is the eyeball, the eyelid, as looking downward. That's when your head is bowed, right? That's when it's somebody is bowing down. If you ever seen a historical drama of Chinese ancient times, the ruler comes out, everybody like do it. Well, actually, I think at the other cultures as well. Before the modern society, in the pre-industrial age, one ruler came out and then everybody else bowed to that one ruler, right? So this shows that multiple mouses here represent population, multiple people, the crowd, so to speak. And this bowing is almost like a zoom in view on that one character portrayed. And then this person probably is a ruler, somebody who has power, standing high ground, right? So this lin give you the sense of something oppressing, something more powerful, oppressing. So that's the sense of near, this sense of imminent, looming large on the horizon. Okay, 行, we have left and right, footsteps, 3 steps through space, give you the sense of traveling. And 行 here translate as a departure solely because it's from the context. But 行 by itself actually just means movement through space, travel. dense, we have this shelter with a chimney. That's human shelter. And then we have 戈, which is a weaponry with two parts apart, means separation of something. According to scholars, okay, this together, this 戈, weaponry plus the two parts, this separation, according to scholars, that means the process of separation or polarization. Because in ancient philosophy, it was believed that we started from one unseparated unit, the universe, so to speak, or the heaven, okay, and then it split into heaven and earth, and then further splitting down. So 一生二,二生三, something like that, okay. So from one, we have two, right, polarized, and then further polar, kind of like that. And this polarization paired with this domestic space, that means the living room in ancient architecture structure. So think about our living quarters. We have one shelter under one roof, one chimney, but actually if you go inside that household, it's going to be separated into different functional spaces: living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, right? Study room, family room, media room, however you want, a basement, attic, however you want to separate the space into different functions. So this living room is the beginning of the polarization or the separation of spaces within this family unit. And this B eventually, well, this B means the 戈 plus the 巴 together becomes masked, because I think this separation, this polarization is the general trend we're going to see, and it's destined, must going to happen. Okay, so this living room, so this must happen concept, B, paired with this domestic shelter image, become the living room. So my theory is when you enter into a space, the first impression or the first space you can enter is the living room before it can be separated into more private spaces, before you can go somewhere like somebody's study or even bedroom. That's even more private, right? And a bathroom, probably one person at a time, right? So this living room becomes the first space that the private space and public space interface. And the living room paired with mountain sign. So this 3 peaks means mountain range. When we have 3, it just means multitudes. We have the mountain range that's similar to the living room spatially. So in my mind, I have this image of you're in a valley, and then the mountains on all sides of the valley are kind of close by. So you're kind of an enclosure, almost like standing in your living room, facing all the doors leading to other spaces. That in the mountain range, you're in this valley, this lower ground, and you're looking at all directions, mountains enclosure you in the middle. And that close-ranged mountain, similar to the living room spatial sense, became dense. Means mountain are densely located to each other, as if you would feel like standing in your living room looking out to the mountains. Okay, 冯, we have the tactile imagery on the left, and we have the walking sign in the middle. Walking sign is made of footsteps to the left side of the footstep, just like this. We only take the left half of it. And then the right foot underneath. The right foot, this is a big toe, pinky toe, the rest of the toes, and this is a sole. So right foot by itself means standing still. And when I pair with footsteps, it means walking. It's reasonable, right? It has a stop And if it has a moving, the evidence of moving through space, then that's walking. We have the right side backward walking, because in ancient Chinese, facing left is considered forward walking. And this is an ancient shu structure, a shu simplification. This is the heel side of the shoe. This is the front, the toe side of the shoe. And it's facing toward the left. And then we have this kind of pointer, elongated pointer. It's pointing backwards. That means even if the shoe is facing the left side, which is the front, forward, your direction actually is pointing backwards. So you're backwards walking. And then this almost look like 生, alive or life, except that the root here is going deeper. So that means some living plant is deeply rooted, is still very well rooted and alive. So when you walking, you see this very much alive, the bush of life, I guess, and then you're backward walking. So that gives you a imagery, a behavioral imagery. You would back walk if you encounter a well-growing, a flourishing plant, cluster of plants up there. That gives you the sense of encountering. So it's something unexpected. It's not necessarily an obstacle because it's life. It's something well alive. It's something good, actually, in this imagery. When you meet that, still, it's something unexpected. And so you would go backwards. That together means you encounter something. And when you encounter something, you sew it. Why you sew it together? We have the fabric symbol on the left side. We have fabric encounter. That means at least there are two panels of fabric. When they encounter, you're supposed to stitch them together. So together, there's quite like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 pieces put together in a certain logical, like a nested logical way, because this backward walking, this living plant thing together, it has this meaning of meet, and then you have walking meet, and then you have this walking meet encounter plus the textile. That means sewing. Okay, 意恐迟迟归. This structurally is the same as 临行密密缝. So 密密缝迟迟归, same structure. X, X, Y, right? We have the repetition. And repetition in Chinese means intensified. We have to double down on this character, express it twice to give you an intense sense of feeling over there. 意恐迟迟归 talks about the psychology of the mother. Is afraid the son is going to return home for so late, later than expected. 意, we have the heart symbol at the bottom, and the top is singing. And singing is made of the mouth symbol, which is box shape, and then we have the pointer pointing toward the mouth, and have an indicator over there. It means inside the mouth, which is the tongue. We have to make the concept of the tongue, we have to have the mouth, and the two of them occurring together are the organs to produce the sound. And then we have two horizontal lines, the earth and the heaven. It looks like heaven is shorter than the earth, but that's, or you can view it as sound bites, however you want to see it. And then the third horizontal line within the mouth means something sweet. Without that horizontal line, it means speaking. So basically, we have the sound producing organs, and then we have the space to have the sound travel through space, heaven and earth, okay? And then we have the third horizontal line means sweet. Sweet speaking is our music making singing, right? So the singing of the heart together becomes our intent or our mind. Kind of like we're not necessarily know what we're thinking. And the singing becomes like a surfacing our intent, our the consciousness. Okay, so we have consciousness, subconsciousness, right? Subconsciousness is inaccessible to us, to our conscious mind. And so this is singing of the heart is making your conscious known. It becomes conscious. That becomes our mind. Okay, that's a Chinese way to express mind. Kong, we have heart symbol again. And then this two horizontal line with one vertical line is our tri-square. It's an ancient craftsman's tool to make sure a perpendicular triangle is perfectly made. And then the right side, it seems like some grass symbol or the hand, actually. Actually, this could be the hand symbol holding a whip. So it's, I guess, ancient time to complete any major civil engineer project involves lots of people. So it's almost like a slavery kind of thing that you have many, many labors and you have this authority figure holding the whip and having this engineering project put together. So without a heart, the rest of them means to fortify something. So we can regard it like a build a castle. And a castle around the heart means you're afraid of something. It means you're kind of build a castle around your own mind so that you feel separated, okay, feel secure, right? Within your heart that you have this fortitude, not fortitude, a fortress around you, your heart. But at the same time, your enclosure, you closed your heart. And therefore, it's creating more anxiety because you separate your own consciousness away from the rest of the happening. And that creates actually less visibility and more uncertainty, right? So that becomes a Chinese afraid or worry or ruminating. Like before anything even happened, I call it a pre-worry. Before things even happen, this worry already started. And that's the core, this concept is the castled heart or the heart in siege. Okay, 十 we have walking sign again, right? Foot symbol plus the 3 steps. And then we have the 犀牛犀, the rhino symbol. We have the ox symbol, which is just a coordinate plus the horns of the ox. And then to express rhino, Chinese classify rhino as a type of ox because they kind of look the same. That's how Chinese classified this animal. So rhino was not commonly seen. And to describe what rhino looks like to regular Chinese users, they use the tail of the rhino. So this big question mark elongated thing is the body, simplified, streamlined. And then we have the tail, this one line with fluffy hair at the edge. So tailed ox became the rhino. And rhino probably in Chinese concept moves very slowly. So that becomes late. Moving slow implies going to be late. Okay, 迟迟归. Gui, again, we have the foot symbol, right? And instead of having the 3 footsteps, we have this cliff. So this top left corner thing here, top left corner forming thing means high ground. And we have kind of 2 semi boxes installed on it. It shows kind of a cliff, something structurally hard to scale on. I don't know if there are mountain climbers back then, but if we see in nature this structure, that means it's unclimbable. You cannot get on there. And when you have such a structure in nature, that means you have to stop in front of it. So over here on the left side, it almost means stop. And plus the right side, we have a 3-finger hand symbol. And actually, this is the right hand. Just like when we express food, we use right foot. When we express hand, we have right hand. And both of them are three terminals, so like three fingers, three digits, hand, and three toe food. And that's how Chinese simplify things. So we have the hand holding a duster. Hand holding duster, domestic labor. And that was the societal assigned view to women. And stop at the domestic duster role. That's the destiny, or the return to your designed role. So it's almost like you fulfill your script as a return to the household you're supposed to be. So return in Chinese actually means you get married and then you're going to dust the home of another household. And that's your destiny. That's where you stop your footstep. Okay, that becomes return. And 意恐迟迟归 is the mother is afraid of the son's late return. And I simply translate it as a late return because there is this mother and son connection and this dismay in front of, like right near the departure of the son. And the mother shows her love and support by sewing the clothes and densely sew it, right? And the psychology of the mother is I'm so afraid that you're going to return home late. Therefore, I need to kind of provide you warm clothing to fend off whatever is adversities outside my protection to the son. So this through action and through a little bit psychological description, it gives you the sense of from the mother's perspective. In next stanza, we're going to see how the son is going to respond to that kind of love and support. Thank you for your time. See you next